Able to see my screen?
Yes.
I hope you can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So last session, what we saw was how to create a simple Lightning Web component and deployed it, into our org. So we practiced our first Lightning Web component, and we saw that how to drag and drop in the home page and how to see the component, visually, right? That's what we tried. So today also we are going to work on the basics of the component. So generally, if you look at the folder structure, you will be having a HTML file, you will be having a JavaScript, and you will be having the meta file. Just to revise the things little bit, the meta file decides the destination of your component, right? It should be case sensitive, and you have to give it carefully the target. So based on the target, your component will be visible in the Lightning pages. Okay. And HTML page, this is generally consist of the user UI, right? You can call it as an UA, right? The user interface will generally happen in the HTML pages. So the HTML pages, in the sense, here you will not get any HTML tag or body tag. You will have template. Okay. So we saw that HTML stands for hypertext markup language. It is generally called as markup. A markup, in the sense, you are going to styling the UI. That is generally called as markup, right? When you are going to style the markup, if you have some errors in the tag or in the HTML file, if you missed a couple of closing tags or something, you will not get any error, because since it is a markup language, right? So generally, if you look at the other programming languages, Apex or C#, if you miss the semicolon, or if you miss the braces, you will immediately get the compilation error, right? So here you will not get that. You will not get the expected output. That will be the general outcome of the hypertext markup language, because generally it is used to have the styling the pages, right? Okay. So a HTML will generally contains tags. It is full of tags to format the UI. The format can happen in a web page, or it can happen in the component. Currently, we are using this HTML in LWC to format the component, right? These HTML tags can be generally classified into two ways. One is called inline, and another one is called block level tags. Okay, another one is called block level tags. Okay, so the tags can be classified as two ways. One is block, and another one is called inline. Some examples for the tags are mostly used tags. What you will be using in the LWC will be major tag you will be using is a division. This is generally called as a division. The division will have a closing tag also. The division will have a closing tag. Suppose if you want to display a text content in your page as a paragraph, you will be using a division. Similar to division, you will be having one more mostly commonly used tag, that is called paragraph. That is generally called as paragraph tags. These tags are called as a block level tag. Why it is called as a block level tag? In the sense, suppose if I am going to specify some content in between division, I am going to place one more division, means the next division will not be a continuation of the previous text. It will coming in the next line. Okay, we'll see that, in a short while from now, we will see that in the UI itself. So the next mostly used component, tags is called as heading tag. Okay, so this is called as heading tag. You will be having H1 to H6. Okay, 6 levels of heading tags will be there. You will be having up to H6. So what is the heading tag? Suppose if I'm the name itself, you can able to easily identify, right? It is used to put headings in your component. The heading size may vary based on the level you are applying. For example, H1 in the sense the size will be bigger. When you are going for H6 in the sense the size will be smaller. So these tags are generally called as block level tags. Okay, mostly used to block level elements. Inline elements or inline tags are generally called as, for example, image. You are going to put an image, right? For example, you are going to show some image in the UI. If that is the case, you will be using a special tag called img. Okay, so this tag is called as img. Img tag generally used to display image in the UI. This is an inline tag. In the similar way, you have another inline tag, very famous inline tag called a span. Okay, another inline tag called span. Mostly commonly used tags, these are, okay, you are going to apply it in a short while from now, and you are going to see that how this looks like, okay. And you will be having a hypertext also, okay. This is generally called as hypertext. In the sense hypertext. What is meant by hypertext? You are going to create a link. Suppose I'm going to have a link. Once the link is clicked, I want the user to be navigated to a separate third-party page, or it's going to be it might be inside Salesforce, whatever it may be. So if you want to navigate the user from one page to another page, generally you will be having a link. That link, in HTML, to generate a link, you will be specifying a tag called anchor tag. So these tags are called as inline tag, because if I'm going to specify an anchor, okay, and I'm going to have 2 or 3, consecutively. For example, I'm going to have consecutively. These tags will be displayed, in the same line. It will not make the second, tag to move to the next line. It will display it in the same line itself. But that was not the case with H1 tags or H6 tags. Let's apply these tags and let's see how it looks like. So initially, this is a simple, welcome to LWC workshop. This is what, on the previous day we have tried, right? So I'm going to convert it as a heading tag. What I will be specifying? I will be specifying the heading tag H1. So immediately I can able to see that there is a closing tag popped up, right? No need to specify the closing tag manually. Once you type the open tag, automatically, because of the IntelliSense editor, you can able to see that the closing tags also popped up. Now I'm going to specify H1. This is generally called as heading tag, right? The similar way, you have 6 types of heading tags, and I'm going to specify one more tag called, let's say, for example, H4. It's a different size. Welcome to LWC workshop. Okay, HTML tags. Okay, so let me try to save this. Now to see this output, I have to deploy the component to the org. If I right click here, I can able to see deploy source to org. I'm deploying the element to the org. Deploying the component to the org, the component successfully deployed. Let's go to the org and check it out how the UI looks like. So this is the component. Let me try to refresh this. Okay, fine. So now, because of these tags, you can able to see the tag. The tags were displayed, in the screen. The similar way, you can able to display a division also. Let me quickly go to division and apply a division also here. Let me try to apply a division here, a div. So generally, the div is going to used to display the divisions. I am going to have some, blocks of elements here. Let's see. Generally lorem ipsum is used in the web standards to display some sample text over there. Let me try to copy this. If you look at this particular paragraph, this is going to be a heading, right? You can make use of heading tags for this, and this is generally called as a division or paragraph. If you want to create this kind of output, you can make use of heading as well as you can make use of a division. Let me try to copy this and put it in a division. And you can able to see the block level elements, in different rows. Let me try to copy this, and straight away coming here, I'm going to apply the content. Okay, the content is applied here, and I'm going to copy the same division, and I'm going to paste it once again. This will create 2 block level divisions. This will create 2 block level divisions. Let me try to deploy again. So since it is a block level element, first division will be shown in a one line, and the next division will be displayed in the second line. It will not be a continuation. Suppose if you are going to use a span tag instead of a division, if you are going to use the span tag, both the paragraphs will be displayed in the same line. That is the difference between inline and block level element. Let me try to refresh this. Let me try to go here, and let me try to refresh this, and let's see. And one more thing you could able to see, if you look at, there is a component at the top. This particular component is built using flows, right? You can able to see at the background, it is in white color, right? Here, there is no background. To get the background, you need to apply the styles. Okay, so currently we haven't applied any styles, so that's why it is displaying like this. If you look at this particular component a little bit closer, You can able to see here, this is the first paragraph, which I have displayed using division tag. This is the second block. Okay. So it is displayed in the second paragraph, displayed as a second paragraph or displayed as a second division. So this is the way generally you will be using to display the elements. Instead of divisions, you can make use of paragraphs also. Suppose if I want to display an image, still you can apply an image here. For example, img. Okay, img is the tag which is used to display the image. Okay, so for each and every tag, you will be having a closing tag also. Let me put a closing tag like this. Okay, fine. So how to display the image? To display the image, you will be having an attribute. So far we have learned tags, right? These tags will generally have attributes. So tags can have attributes. Attributes in the sense properties. For example, I'm going to specify img. Img is a tag. So what image I need to load, right? That is generally specified through attributes. IMG will have an attribute called SRC. SRC will generally decides, okay, from where you are going to load the image or the URL of your image, right? So a tag will generally can have attributes. Attributes in the sense the properties of this particular tag. For example, this image I'm going to load from your website. If that is the case, I will be specifying the website link as an SRC. This image can have a width and height. You can specify width. This is also one property. You can specify height. This is also one property. So in the similar way, each tags can have properties. Okay. So each tags can have properties. Okay, fine. So let's try to load your image. The similar way we can check with Lorem Pixum. Lorem Pixum will have some random images. You can get images from here. For example, suppose if I want to, show this particular image, you can able to see this entire URL here. Okay. So I'm trying to copy this. This is the URL for this particular image, which is available in this particular website. I'm copying this image URL and coming here, img, I'm going to specify src, source. Src in the sense source. Source can be your local image or it can be a fully qualified URL. I'm going to specify the fully qualified URL. Okay, so let me try to save this and deploy this component. Let's see, I can able to see the images in place or not. It is deployed. Now we need to refresh the component. Let me go here and try to refresh. I would able to see the image here, right? Okay, so one more important concept, I wanted to convey in the same, here itself. If you look at here, this is a HTML page, right? At any point of time, you can able to see what is the actual, code rendered in the web page. For example, sometimes if I'm going to, by mistake, I made a, I made a blunder here. Instead of specifying photos, the URL went a little bit wrong. Okay, the URL went a little bit wrong. Okay, so I'm going to save this. And now I'm trying to deploy this component. By mistake, the URL was wrong. Now there is no chance for the image gets loaded. Okay, now you will not get any error because it's a markup language, right? You will not get any error. You will be getting an image like this. See here. If you are seeing an icon when you're trying to load an image, if you are seeing this icon like this, in the sense there was an issue with the path of the image, which is referred in the code or in the HTML page or in the component. So to debug this, you can make it confirm in two ways. For example, I'm going to right click this. I'm going to right click this image. Suppose an image should be loaded here, but I'm seeing entirely a different icon here. The path is wrong. So I can right click here. There will be a pop-up coming up in the page. Inspect. You can click that, inspect. This will directly take you to the HTML page, which was rendered in the UI. If you look at here, This is the code which rendered in the browser, and you are seeing the output, right? Here you can able to see this is the URL. You can able to see here, I guess. Okay, let me try to zoom a little bit. Yeah, now I think you can able to see a little bit better, I guess. This is the URL, right? This is the URL which is responsible to load the image. I'm not getting the image properly here. I can check here. Let me try to click this. Okay. Here, sometimes it may take you to that particular page, or you can copy this and you can paste it in the browser also, and you can check it out whether the image is getting loaded properly or not. Still, if you are unable to see the image, then it is pretty much clear that you did some mistakes in the URL. So this is the way, as far as the image is concerned, you can debug. If you are unable to see an image, right click, inspect, check it out. This is the right URL, because this is what loaded in the UI, right? So you can, at any point of time, you can able to see your code which is rendered in the UI, which is rendered in the browser. This is generally called as inspect element. You can able to see the code which is responsible to render this element. Okay. So if you look at this particular image tag, sometimes there may not be, no need to give the closing tags also. I can specify a closing tag like this. Instead of putting the image /img, I can put simply a slash here. This will also work. Okay. So this will also consider as a closing tags. Okay. Sometimes one of the mostly used tags, I need to give some breaks in between the contents. Okay. For example, by default, you have a division. Next, you have a division in the sense there will be a single line break. Sometimes you may need to have more than one, one line or 2 lines or 3 lines of gap between 2 paragraphs or divisions. If that is the case, you can apply a break tag. Let me apply a couple of break tags here. 3 break tags. Okay, I have saved this. Let me try to deploy. One of the mostly commonly used, or tag in web page construction or in the component creation, whatever it may be. Suppose if you want to have a spaces in between your elements, you can apply. That is the horizontal, space. If you look at it, there is a huge space, right, in between. This is because of I have applied 3 breaks here in between, right? So because of these 3 breaks, I can able to see there is a huge space in between. Okay. So this is one of the commonly used commonly used tags. Sometimes, you may want to display your images, display your text in a very bold way. If that is the case, you will be using a tag called bold. Okay. So this is generally called as a bold tag. Welcome to LWC Workshop. So this particular tag will be used to display your image in the bold way. Okay. Sometimes you may need to display your content in a italic style. If that is the case, you can apply the tag called /I. So this can be used to display. Yeah.
Hi, bro. Sorry. So really sorry to interrupt. And what we can do, we can post the list of tag. Currently, we have just got in the Telegram itself. And let's have a different set of tag. Let them try it on your own.
Yeah, sure. That's what my plan. So probably this is the last tag. Okay. And one more okay. Tag is left. Okay. Once I'm done with that, I have a plan. Okay. I will give them reference also. Okay. Okay. So this is the way you can able to display your text in a bold way, and you can able to display your text in an italic way, right? So one more important tag, okay, that is called anchor tag. So this is generally called as anchor tag. Suppose if you want to make a link, link in the sense from one page to another page. Okay. Suppose if you want to navigate the user from one page to another page, you will be using a tag called hyperlink. This hyperlink, in the form of HTML tags, you will be specifying anchor tag. Okay. So this is generally called as anchor tag. Anchor in the sense that's called hyperlink. This will also contain a property. Property in the sense in the image, we had a property, right? SRC, source. In the similar way, anchor tag will have a property called href. This is called as hypertext reference. In this href, I can simply specify https and www.salesforce.com, Salesforce salesforce.com. Okay, so when the user going to click this particular link, it will take me to the Salesforce page. How the user should see the link in the UI? In the UI, I'm going to specify like this. Click here to go to Salesforce. User will be seeing a text called click here to go to Salesforce. Okay, once the user click this, immediately the page will be navigated to salesforce.com, right? So this is generally called as hypertext or hyperlink. Okay, or you can create a link from one page to another page. Hypertext reference you can able to specify. This is also a property. So after the tag a space and you are going to specify something, means that is generally called as attribute. This is generally called as attribute. So these all are the tags so far we had seen. We'll post it, in the chat itself right away, right? I will post it right away in the chat also. And meanwhile, I will give you a reference site also, which you can use, to try. Okay. So this should be closed here. Okay, fine. So we'll give you a link also, a site. Okay. So probably you can try these things. You can able to use, make use of, W3 schools, or you can make use of, tutorials point, whatever it may be. This will give you clear cut explanation how the tags, basics tags will looks like. For example, this is a heading tag. You are going to specify H1 to H6. Okay. You will be getting like this. For example, if you are going to use an image, how you can able to use these images. You can able to see that how the attributes or how this particular tag will looks like. IMG SRC is equal to. Okay, please have a close look at it. Here there is no HTTP something specified. It is simply starts with /HTML/images. It means that they are trying to load the image from the same website itself. If you are going to load an image from a third-party website, which is not from your website, you are trying to load it from a different website, you will be specifying the entire qualified URL. Suppose if you are going to have like this, okay, there is no entire qualified URL. You are going to have like this, means you are going to load an image from the same site itself or same org itself. You are trying to load an image. Okay, so this is what the basics. So we'll share you this particular site link also. Now it is time for you to practice the basics links. You can play around with the basic, tags, HTML tags, and you can deploy your component and you can check it out. Ashok, will it work?
Yes. Maybe after you shared.
Yeah, let me put it in the chat.
Yeah. And just specify the very first tag, bro. If we don't need to share this script, maybe we can tell them like H. So people, you see, today we have demonstrated. That's what, bro. Don't share this script.
Okay.
Just share what are the tags we have just discussed. It is H1, div,
yes,
breaks, image, and I see bold, italic,
anchor.
And anchor, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So first try work it out these list of tags. See, as you all know, the idea is we want to let you know the concepts. Then we want to demonstrate a few things over here. And you are going to try what we have just demonstrated. Next, you are going to try other things on your own, because it is very difficult for demonstrate everything right in front of the in the session, because if we do so right, it will take 1 hour, 2 hours, and such things you can find it in YouTube itself, because we don't want to repeat the same thing again and again. Even we have the same set of sessions we have taken for 31 days. It is already available in our folder. The idea is we want you all to give a try for the next 30 minutes. If you find any difficulty, if you have any query, just ask. And at the same time, if you have any query, first put it in a Google, see how it goes. And still you don't find any questions, still you have a query, you don't get the basic understanding, please ask here. The next 30 minutes is going to be a pure hands-on. If anybody have any difficulty in deploying the component or in the installation itself, or while practicing this basic HTML tags, please let us know. Okay, bro. You can post that reference link alone, bro. That you so-called the Pixum and the Lawsum.
Yeah, right? I have specified the Pixum.
All right, fine. So now over to you people. Please give a try on the basic tags we have just demonstrated and let us know if you have any queries. Thank you. And if anybody faced any difficulties with the previous sessions in deploying the components, many face issues with the installation itself. If anybody have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll come one by one. Thank you.
Yeah, Surya.
Hi, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Actually, my question is, do we need to deploy every time we we make a change in the code? Or
Yes, of course. You will be having a shortcut key called, when you are trying to save the component, immediately the component will be pushed. Okay, you can configure VS Code in that way also, but sometimes it might be annoying, right? Because each and every save, it will try to push the things, right? So sometimes we may want to deploy the things after saving the HTML and after saving the JavaScript, right? So that's why initially it is not preferred to go for automatic deployment. But if you want to see the outcome, see the output, you should definitely deploy. Or if you have a local server installed, you can check that in the local server. But when you are trying to connect with your org data, at that point of time, you will not use the local server. So to keep it simple, if you want to see the changes in the component, yes, you need to deploy.
Okay, okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Sir, I have a question. When you deploy LWC from sandbox to production, how does it work? Do you need to do any test class, or
you need to authorize? Actually, if you want to push the things from sandbox to production, for example, let's take an example. So currently I'm connected with my sandbox, right? So what you have to do here is you need to authorize org. You need to go for authorize org. There you need to authorize your production. And now if you try to deploy the source, it will straight away landed in your production org.
Okay. So even if you're working on an actual Salesforce org, you can easily deploy to production through Visual Studio, right?
Yes. No need to create any change set or no need to create, anything. Just you have to deploy it. That's it.
Oh, it's nice. It's different than triggers and all this stuff. You
Yes.
You have to do change set. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no need to go for change set. You can rightly deploy. But if you are going to deploy Apex class, definitely you should have a test class, right? So you should stick on to the basics, but the deployment might be a little bit easier. So we'll explain that, how you can able to pull the information locally also. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, span is generally, similar to the paragraph tag or division tag. If you want to display some text in the UI, you can make use of span. But the difference is a span will behave as an inline tag. Okay. It will not apply a break. It will be displayed in the same line itself. That is called a span.
So people, please make use of the time and practice as much as you can. When you have doubt, then and there, get it resolved. Because a lot of people come up with the feedback that while watching videos, we are understanding everything. But when we are trying to do, we find difficulty. If we find any difficulty, we have to wait till the Q&A sessions to get it sorted. To avoid that particular gap, we have this workshop. Practice then and there, clarify your queries then and there. Thank you. If anybody have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get a notification and we will come to you and we'll resolve your query. Actually, that's it for the day. If anybody is still waiting that we are going to explain new concepts, and no, that's it for the day. We don't want to take any much time. Already 30 minutes went for explanation itself. The rest of the 30 minutes, it's for you to practice and come up with the queries and get it sorted. As I mentioned earlier, this is the session for absolute beginners and who are all very slow learners and who wants to need someone to sit along with them and help with them, because this is a session for them. But if you're a kind of a fast track guy, like you can learn the things quickly, you already have the videos, which is already uploaded in our drive. You should have access to it. If you don't have access to the drive, please get in touch with the support team. They will help you with the same. You can watch the video and you can learn at your own pace. But this is the session that it's mean only for people who are completely or absolutely from the non-coding background, struggling in doing the coding. We want to get out that fear of coding from them. So make use of this session.
Yes, Vishnu. So generally NBSP is used to give spaces between words. Okay, so NBSP generally called as NBSP semicolon. This is what we will be using. We'll explain that a little bit later. So suppose if you have two words, okay, for example, let me simply put a tag here, for example, span. I'm going to put a span tag here. Okay, inside the span, hi, welcome. So this particular space will give you only a single space, right? Consider you are pressing a space bar in your keyboard, right? So this is generally a single space. Suppose if I am going to give more spaces here, even though if you have some 10 or 20 spaces you are giving, right, by using the keyboard, right, but still the HTML will not render it. Okay, it will render as a single space only. At the end of the day, if you look at it in the UI, you will be seeing hi, a single space welcome. If you want to give more spaces, then we will be going for a space character called NBSP semicolon. So this is generally called as a space. If you want to give some 10 spaces in between this hi and welcome, then you have to use this particular special tag between NBSP. So generally NBSP is called as a space, okay, between words. In a single sentence, in a single word, if you want to specify more spaces, you can make use of ampersand NBSP as semicolon. Okay, so this will treat it as a single space. So how many spaces you want, you can repeat this. Okay, Vishnu, got it?
Thank you, Nagaraj. Understood.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Sir, I'm unable to deploy the source to the org.
Share your screen if possible. Have you opened your project? Are
Yes,
you
sir.
in the project folder?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Share your screen. Let's see.
So, can you? Yes.
Okay.
So,
Multiple root found. Multiple root found in the sense, probably you may not be in the right path, I guess. Okay. Go for file and open folder. File. Go to file at the top. In the VS Code itself, yes. File. Open folder. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Which is your project folder? Okay. Now select folder. Click select folder.
okay.
Let it load. Okay, okay, fine. Currently you are in, I guess. Okay, clear the output console and try to deploy again. It says that multiple root found, right?
So, how can I
Demo
clear?
component. Where is the component? Demo component. Where is the component? Open that. Okay, demo component. Open HTML. Have you copy pasted more than one template there? Check it out. How many template tags are there? See there, your template is loaded, closed there, right? Remove that. Remove that line number 3. Only line number 3.
Only line number 3.
Yes, yes. Move the line number 3 as a last line in your
Okay, inside this
all
template
the
only.
tags, all the tags should be inside the template open close. Okay, it's just like a body open, body close. All the tags will be inside, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay, fine. Again, stop sharing. Yeah. So all the tags should be between template open and template close. This is considered as a block. This is the parent tag. So everything should be inside the parent. Template open, template close. You can practice like this. Put a a tag which has a little bit higher in size, and then some codes behind that, and then put one question and then answer for that. Open a lorem ipsum and try to construct a UI like this. Okay, heading, and underneath you have a quote, and after that you have a question, and you have a particular box. Look at this particular word is bold. You should create a UI like this, similar like this. This particular word should be in bold. Okay, so practice an UI to build an UI like this up to this part, up to this one. Okay, in between, if you want to put an image here, you can put an image also, and you can have a hypertext also in between. This you can practice now. Yes, Sendil Kumar.
Hi. I'm going to share my screen. I did a H1 and H6 tag, but it looks all same. But I'm going to go to mute and share the screen.
So yes, you can share your screen. Generally in HTML, it will make the difference. But when we are trying to go for LWC component, the styles will be overridden by the parents. Okay. So here we should apply CSS. Probably tomorrow session we will go for CSS.
Okay.
Then we will apply styles there. Because if you look at this is at the end of the day, this particular component is going to reside inside a HTML page, right? So if you look at the HTML page, this is the end of the day, it is going to reside here, right? So this will already have a parent HTML tag and parent styles. Those styles will be overridden, right? Okay. If you look at it, even though we call it as a single component, it has so many sources there, right? So many tags, so many things are there. If you look at the bottom also, you can able to see so many styles applied. Okay, so because of this, it's generally overridden. But in CSS session, we will see how to apply background, how to apply the heading tags in the right way. We can try that. Okay,
sure.
I'm picking up the things from the HTML basics. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
To answer Surya's question, Surya asked, is it possible to use existing components styles in our component? Yes, you can do that. You can share the styles also. Currently, today's session, we are not covering the CSS. We will be covering the CSS in tomorrow's session. So probably at that point in time, you can able to see that. And if you look at the LWC, there is a concept called shadow DOM. Okay, so the shadow DOM will cover your component affected by other component styles. Okay, so that is also one of the crucial topic, in LWC shadow DOM. So we are going to place our component in a HTML page, in a single page application, right? So other components style should not affect our component. We have to be careful with that also. So that is taken care by the shadow DOM actually. As days goes on, we will see what is the shadow DOM, what is the impact of shadow DOM in LWC component. If you look at this is my page, right? If I right click and if I went for view page source, I can able to see the entire code which is responsible to construct this page. So this is generally happened, with the HTML architecture. If you look at this, this is the way it will behave. The browser will display you entire content which is responsible for this page to be rendered, right? So if you have a component also, you can able to see how your component is styled, how your component is constructed. You can able to still see that the entire source code, you can able to see that because it is generally rendered in the client side. That is the difference between client and server side, right? So if you are going to write something in the server side, in the browser, you cannot see what is written in that, right? So since HTML is going to be rendered in the client side, someone can right click and view source, they can still see how you have constructed this component from the UI perspective. It means that, yes, someone can steal your styles also. Go to this particular tutorials point, basics tags. You can able to find the basics tags with a clear explanation. You can still able to identify the things clearly. As far as the styling is concerned, some of the tags might have contain styles, but don't get into the styles as of now. Tomorrow we will be seeing the styles in a detailed way. So the styles can be applied explicitly in the tags itself, or using a separate CSS, or you can make use of Salesforce SLDS styling systems also. You can make use of that. We will see that detail. If you have any queries, you can put it in the chat also. Yes, Rizwan.
Sir, I'm just getting an error.
Yeah,
Can I
share
my
screen.
screen?
Yeah, let me stop my screen. Share your screen. Yeah.
Can you see it, sir?
Okay, successful. What's the error you are getting? Okay. So, okay, invalid HTML syntax, unexpected solid as in tag. Okay, show me the tags you have practiced. Okay, scroll up a little bit. Looks like, okay. So the template image has a closing tag. Check it out. Your image tag has a closing tag. Okay, it has a closing tag, but the path is not closed with the double quotes. If you look at it, after flogo.bng png,
Yes.
okay, you should have a double quotes there, right? Because the path should have a double quotes.
Okay.
Double quotes, not single quotes, double quotes.
Okay.
In a keyboard, apply double quotes and try to deploy this. Okay.
Now it's correct, sir?
Yeah, scroll to the left. Scroll to the left now. Now you could able to see the template closing tag is in different color, right?
Yes.
That will give you a clue how to debug. Okay, where we need to debug, right? Yeah, previously it was that our slash template is in a different color. Now it is in white color. Okay.
But why it is in red color, sir, here?
That is because of the closing. You try to deploy. Let's see. You have a open. You should put your double quotes open after. Actually, you configure the tag entirely different. IMG, and after that you should specify SRC is equal to, within double quotes you need to specify the path. So you miss the attribute. SRC is equal to double quotes. SRC equal to double quotes, double quotes. Okay. Only one double quotes. That's it. Okay, fine. Now try to save this. Try to deploy. Deployed.
Yes,
Successfully deployed.
Yeah,
Check
yeah,
it out.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
thank you, sir.
You can stop sharing. To answer Prasad questions, can we use images uploaded in our org? Yes, we can use it. We can upload our images as a static resource, and we can use that also. Or, you can directly use the entire URL also. So static images, should be loaded in a separate way. Probably if you know the those, probably you might have seen sometimes, how to load the static images. We will see that, in the upcoming sessions, how to load static images. Through JavaScript code, you can able to load the image if you are using a static. If you have an external image, then you can simply directly put it in the image tag itself. If you have a static images loaded in your org itself, then you need to get the help from your JavaScript. Okay. We'll see that when we are into JavaScript. As of now, if you look at it, you are using HTML tags to show or to display text and images, right? Sometimes we might be getting input from the user, right? The user should enter something. So user should select a pick list, or user should click a button. So you need to render the elements also, okay? The input elements, generally called as the input elements. So the input elements can be used in two ways, okay? The input elements can be rendered in the screen two ways. Either you can go for the native HTML tags, or you can make use of a Lightning component library. Okay, so what Salesforce did was, they have created native components with the help of SLDS styles applied, and they constructed components called Lightning components. You can able to make use of Lightning components from the Lightning component library. So in the upcoming sessions, we will be using how to use native HTML tags and how to use Lightning component library tags and how it looks like. What is the difference in between? You should know that sometimes we may need to depend on the native tags also. So we'll see that. To answer Rizwan questions, yes, Rizwan, you can resize the images, apply the attribute called width and height. If you look at here, I have specified IMG, SRC is the path of the image. Okay, SRC is the path of the image, and then you can specify width and height.
Sir, we couldn't see your screen.
Okay, let me try to share my screen. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So if you want to resize the images, you can make use of the property called width and height. Let's say, for example, I'm going to apply 100 px. Px is generally called as pixels. Okay, so 100 pixels, this is the width. My height is also 100 pixels. So this is the way you can able to resize your images. Otherwise, what will happen? The actual source, actual image size is 300. It will rendered in such a way that 300 will be the size of the images. If you want to resize that, you can resize, make use of the property called width and height. The width and height can be specified in pixels, or it can be specified in percentage. Suppose if you want to make it as a responsive site, responsive component, for example, mobile responsive, right? If that is the case, someone is going to see the component in the desktop, someone is going to see it in the iPad, or someone is going to see it in the mobile, right? If that is the case, your component should render, your component should be responsive enough, right? So that is generally called as mobile responsive pages or mobile responsive components. If that is the case, we will be going for percentages. Okay. And a lot of things are behind that. You can make use of a style called, media query to control the sizes based on the devices. So a lot of things are there. We will see the media queries also.
Thank you, sir.
Advanced CSS. Yes. So you can use a Lightning component library elements, or you can make use of a native HTML elements also. Native HTML elements are generally called as input. Okay, it will consist of input element. Okay, so the input can be a text, it can be a button. Okay, you can make use of it. It can be a select in the sense that's generally called as a pick list. Okay, Lightning component library will ships with the components with the look and feel, with the with SLDS applied, right? So it maybe looks like a Lightning styles applied. So we will see that too in the upcoming sessions. Yes, Riaz or Lata and Natrachan. So you guys have any queries?
Yeah,
Yes, Lata.
yeah, this is Lata. Let me share my screen.
Okay, share your screen. Let me stop mine. Okay.
So if you see here, I have declared the heading H1 for both this welcome and welcome to LWC. But I don't see any difference.
Yeah,
so
that's what I told. Generally in HTML, H1 to H6 in the sense it will apply different font sizes, right? If you put the same H1 to H6, in the tags, so in the inside the template, it will be overridden by the overall HTML style. Okay.
Okay, then
so
how
you need to apply CSS. You need to apply CSS. That we will see tomorrow.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, but generally you should know, right? What is from the HTML perspective, what is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, right? So that's why I explained that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, Riaz.
Sir.
Yeah.
Can you ask in Tamil, sir?
Yes, sure. No worries. Solunga.
Can share my screen?
Yes, share your screen.
Sir, sir.
Yes.
Sir, on the link
you need to apply some text there in between A and /A, right? In between, apply a text, click here to go to tutorialpoint.com, something like that. Okay. Some text should be there. Otherwise, you will not see anything there. Yeah. Click here. That's enough. Now you try to deploy and check it out. Okay. You will have a word called click here in the UI. Once you click that, it will take you directly to that particular page. Yes, Jaya.
Sir, for me, image is not showing, sir.
Okay, we'll check that. Share your screen. Riaz, you can stop share your screen.
I have stopped, sir.
Yeah. Yes, Jaya.
Sir, is my screen visible, sir?
Yes.
Sorry, sir. Now it's
Refresh
coming.
issue was there.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine.
If I need to put a space between this like web component and
that's what we told. If you give a space bar, there will be a single space. Even though if you give you more spaces in your code, it will not display as a more spaces there. You need to go for ampersand NBSP semicolon. Right. Yeah. So anyone has any queries, you can ask. You can share your screen if you find it a little bit difficult. So as we discussed in tomorrow's session, we will be going for styling, how to apply the styles, and then we will be going for data binding, and we will be start with JavaScript.
Thanks, Mr. Nagaraj. We'll meet tomorrow.
Sure. We'll do that. Tomorrow we'll go for CSS. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Can I share my?
Yes, please.
Is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Sir, I'm not getting this tag.
You're not getting this tag. Okay, deploy the component. Save and deploy the component. Okay, see there beside image, you could able to see that, right? Because it's an inline. That's what I told, right?
Yes.
It will not come to the next line because it's a inline tag, right? So if you want to bring it next line, apply a break in between. Go to your code. Before ahref in line number 10, you apply a break tag there. That will bring it to the new line. Okay. Image and anchor tags are inline tags. So it will generate the output in the same line. Okay.
Okay,
fine. Refresh, probably it is not refreshed. Try with a break closing tag also. BR// also. Okay. No, in the same tag itself, you can put the closing. BR//. That's it. If it is not there, you can apply more breaks also, couple of breaks also, add couple of breaks and then try.
Okay. Yeah, it's there.
It's there. Okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, anyone has any queries? Otherwise, we will wind up the session for the day and we will, connect again tomorrow for a CSS. Tomorrow's topic will be cascaded style sheet. I hope everyone is fine with today's topics, I guess. So since no hand raised, I think everyone is good here. So practice more tags today. We will connect tomorrow how to apply with different styles. We will see in tomorrow's session. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Yeah. Yes, Roshni.
Sir, I'm unable to
Share your screen. Share your screen.
deploy source to org fail to run.
Okay. Okay, fine. Scroll to the left. Let's see you have the closing tags are in place or not. Some issue with the tags, I guess. Ahref. See, Ahref is showing some issue there, right? Please apply HTTPS : and then give. Yeah, href is equal to no. Href is equal to within that HTTPS : // Okay. // that is fine. And after that, instead of closing the tag immediately there, the anchor tag should be displayed some text in the screen, right?
Yes.
So remove the closing tag, remove the closing slash there in the anchor tag. Yeah. And after the tag, you go type, click here.
Sir,
or click, simply type a text, click here is there. Okay, then it's fine. Close the anchor tag in line number 17 /a. That is the closing tag, right? /a. Yeah. Okay, save this. I'll try to deploy. You have the template closed at the bottom, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Try to deploy now. That's deployed, right?
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so
check it
much.
out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thanks, everyone. We'll wind up for the day and we'll connect the Q&A and we will have CSS session tomorrow morning. Thanks, everyone.